Welcome to our newest tutorial. Today we are diving into the world of Microsoft Excel to explore the utility and advantages of using named cells and ranges. These powerful features streamline your workflow by simplifying the process of referencing and managing data. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, understanding how to effectively utilize named cells and ranges can significantly enhance your Excel experience. Let's get started on this journey to mastering an essential aspect of Excel.
In this module, I want to talk about how to name cells and name ranges. So on the screen, I've got some data where I'm going to use to name a cell, a single cell, and also a range, a list. So first of all, on the left-hand side, I've got a VAT example. If I just widen this a little bit, what I want to know is what the VAT is on these figures in this column. There is the VAT cell. Without naming it, I'll show you what you would have to do. You'd have to use dollar signs. I'll go equals that cell times the VAT amount. And then because I would want to pull that down, I would have to press F4 to get the dollar signs and lock it to make it absolute. So tick that formula and then just pull that down. That would work. That's great. Just need to widen it a bit more. Double click at the top there. Now, that's not wrong, but I don't personally like dollar signs, so I'm going to get rid of that and do it with names. What I'm going to do is name this cell VAT. When you name a single cell, you can refer to that single cell on any sheet in this file. All you have to do is go to the name box where it says B11, that is called the name box. In there, overtype that with the word VAT. It is not case sensitive. Press enter on the keyboard. Do not click off with your mouse, otherwise that cancels it. Now, once you've named it, you can then use it in the same way that I just did there. Equals, in this example, D3 times the word VAT. And when you type the word, you'll see it change color if the computer recognizes it and give you a little mini spreadsheet underneath. Older versions of Excel that look like a baggage ticket or a bus ticket, that means it's recognized it. I'm clicking the tick and I can just pull that down as I did before, but I don't need any dollar signs. There's no dollar signs there anywhere. And I can also use this anywhere in this file. Equals VAT, we'll pull that through like so. It's not formatted to percent, but I can just simply do that. If I go into a different sheet and say I want to know what the VAT on that amount is, I can just go equals that cell times VAT. Picks it up, look, click the tick, and that works it out. So that's a great feature that you can use it throughout the whole workbook. Also, once you've named a cell, if I go back up to the name box, even though I'm not on the same sheet where it was, if I type VAT and press enter, the second part of naming cells, feature if you like, is it's a navigational feature. It will jump to that particular cell wherever you named it, wherever you are in the file. So in this example, I've got some, if I type A1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've actually named this cell down here, Steve. If I go into a different sheet and go up there again and type AS1234, this blue cell is called SACs. So in this file, I can just quickly go to Steve, press enter. There I am on the yellow cell. Go to SACs, press enter. There I am on the blue cell. I can quickly jump around the spreadsheet like that. And then I type VAT to come back to VAT. Now, there's a caveat when you're naming cells. There's a few things you might do wrong. One of them I've already mentioned. You have to physically press enter, otherwise it doesn't do it. Another one would be if you click up there and start typing and press a space bar and type and press enter, you've got a space. You can't have spaces in names. It's telling you that. So you can't have spaces. If you want sort of like a little sentence or a phrase, you have to do it with like a little underscore like that. Or what I would prefer, if I was doing it manually, is to capitalize each first letter of the word so you can read it like that, a bit like Microsoft Access. Actually, the computer's done it like this, so I'll show you how the computer will do it later on. So that's no spaces. Another one, you might click into the cell and forget to go up to the name box and just start typing. That's just an undo. You've made a mistake, undo. Now the last one, the fourth one, is a bit more involved in terms of how to fix it. Let's say you named the wrong cell and you should have named this cell, A11, VAT. You can't just click into A11 and type VAT and press enter because it will do the navigational thing that I just showed you a minute ago because it already exists. So you might think to yourself, well, I'll get up there and I'll press delete. Press an enter. It looks like it's deleted, but it hasn't. This is just a quick way of putting it on. If you need to change it or delete it, you need to do this. You need to go up to formulas. The name area is in the middle of that ribbon. See there, quite a big chunk. Name manager is where you need to go. Name manager. And then you'd have to scroll down and find it, VAT, and change it if it needed to be changed, which it does not. If that was meant to be A11, I'd change that B to an A and click the tick, and I've changed it. But I'm not going to change that because it's correct. Now you might notice these rates, these don't refer to any cells in this spreadsheet or this workbook. They're just created in here. I'll show you how I did it. I'll go new. I'll just call it rate 6. It's not case sensitive, but there's no space there. And I'm just going to get rid of that and put 0.6, full stop, 6. So if I use the word rate 6 anyway, it's going to be 60% of something, for example. And you can see the other ones there. I'll just close that off. And then just to give myself a little example, if I type 100 in that cell, come down a little bit and go equals, click on that 100 cell, do times. As soon as I start typing rate, all the rates will come up, and then there's rate 6 there at the bottom. I'll just double click on that and tick, and it should come back with 60, which it does. So you could utilize that feature if you so wish. Now moving it on to what I consider to be the best part of naming either cells or ranges is when you name a list. So in this green table, I have highlighted all the 40s and called them as a group or a range hours. Individually, they're not called anything, they're just the cell references, but as a group, they're called hours. Overtime's called overtime, rate's called rate, etc., etc. Now, I didn't physically type that in one at a time. I did this. I highlighted the whole table, and I'm still on formulas. I use this feature, create from selection. When I clicked on that, it comes up with 2 tick boxes checked. Do you want to use the top row labels, hours, overtime, rate, etc., to name these columns? Yes, I do. And do you want to use the left column, these people, to name the rows? Yes, I do. So I've left that as it is. I'll click OK. And then that's how it did it. And because there was a space there, look, gross pay with an underscore, the computer did that. But if I highlight the top row, that should be my name underscored, like so. Now, if I click into cell L3, come up a little bit, L3, you can see the formula there, and this is how it works. Hours plus overtime in brackets, so you're doing that bit first, and then times in the result by the rate. Now, that is in English, so basically most people, whether you're a good Excel person in terms of knowledge or not, should be able to work out what's going off there. If it was in Excel speak, Excel references, that's what it would look like. So you would have to look at what's in H3, I3, and J3 just to work that out, and you might even write it down. So by naming it, you're sort of missing that step out a little bit. And say your boss isn't very good at Excel. Is he or she going to look at that and say you should have J66 in that formula? Or they might look at this and say, well, you haven't got bonus on there because it's in English, and they would hopefully know their job. So you're helping everybody if you name things. Now, what you can also do when you've named things, because that is a named row and this is a named column, that intersection there, I can refer to that on any part of this sheet or workbook. And I've got an example of that over here. If I just click on that, it says equals Stephen Saxton space take home. You need to put the space there, but then it'll give you that intersection, and the next one gives the next one down, and so on. So I could have that on a different sheet or a different part of this sheet, because I've used names, so you can refer to them. Now what I want to do is go through this from scratch on this sheet. I'll just get myself to A1, back up to the top, press an enter. What I'm going to do is delete that. I don't need that now. I'm going to highlight this little table across the top, down to the bottom of the yellow area, not coming into the totals. That's the area that I want to name. I'm still on formulas. I'm going create from selection. It's only picking up the top row, which is these labels, which is what I want to name the spaces. Okay. Always check it. So I'm now highlighting the blue area to make sure it says duration. It does. So in the top of the subtotal column, I can do this. I can type equals duration. I'll just start typing it because it's going to come up. The name is the one with a little spreadsheet. The fx's are functions. I don't want them. If it's at the top, you can just press your tab key to get that in there, or you can just carry on typing. It'll put it in there. Now I want a times, and then I'm going to type cost. Typing cost, pressing tab to get it up there, clicking the tick, and watch what happens. It will spill the formula down like so. Now, if you haven't got Office 365, that you will have to pull that down, but it would still work. Office 365, it will spill it down to the same sort of height as whatever the name is. Now, VAT is named on a different sheet, but I've said to you, you can refer to it on any sheet. So this is how this would work. If I go equals sub, again, subtotal comes up to the top. I'm pressing my tab key, or you can double click on that, times VAT, which is on a different sheet. Just going to tick that one, and it will spill it down again. I get the answer, and then I'm going to add these two together. Last thing, so it's going to be equals sub, pressing tab to get that, plus VAT amount. Now, I've come down with the arrow key to VAT amount, pressing tab, ticking that, down it goes. Open up the column a bit, so I see that. Now, when you look at these formulas, you can see the top formula there, but if I click on the next one down, that one, the top one's bold, the next one down is not bold, it's sort of grayed out a little bit. If I press my delete key, I can't delete that because this is an entity, this is a whole list. If you want to make a change, you need to do it on the top line. Now I'm going to delete that one because I want to point something out. I'm going to tie Steve there, and underneath that I'm going to just do spaces. If there is something in the way of your formula spilling down, you're going to get a spill error. So let me type that one again. Equals sub, pressing tab, plus VAT amount, coming down one and pressing tab. That's the correct formula, but when I tick this one, we're getting a bit of a whap whap oops there, look, because spill it says. And the reason it's saying spill is because that is in the way for it to drop down. So I need to delete that. And it still says spill because there is a space there which I can't physically see. So if you've still got a spill and you think it's clear, you need to highlight that space and press your delete key, and to make sure it is clear, then the thing will drop down as you're expecting it. So that's how to use names, named cells, named references, and named ranges. Hopefully that little session was of use. I'll catch you on the next one.